previous resistance ranges make for excellent targets because the price of the resistance was defined by the market. Actual selling occurred there, and it's a threshold, it's a price threshold that's been defined by traders in the active market. So I've got a good example of that previous resistance for you in recent trade here. This is AMD, and I'm going to use a target out here, but I'm also going to just show you historically how this thing worked out. This was a nice little trade setup a couple weeks back as it popped up to a new high, pulled back down, and came back down to the old support resistance zone, set itself up for another run, and put in a nice run. Well, if we had used that $34 resistance target, and we remember that price zone, so I'll go ahead and go grab a little price level here, and we'll drop that right there at the known resistance at 34. And as we watch this price action move forward, you can see as the price approaches that resistance zone, it slows down and sells off, like pre-can selling. Well, everybody and their dog who bought back in here looked at that price and said, well, that's a good target. And so lo and behold, as soon as it gets out there, it starts to fill the limit orders and some selling pressure kicks in. Surprise, surprise, it was a previous resistance zone well defined by the market. Well, now, looking at this trade, it's set up with what's called a cup and handle pattern, and it looks like it's poised to break out again. And there's lots of different targeting techniques, but one of the simplest ones is to, well, look at a bigger time frame on the chart. And here's a big weekly chart, and I can look back at the history. Maybe I can take it to a monthly time frame just to make it easier to see. And let me squeeze in. Well, we can stay right there on the weekly chart because you can see the old all-time highs out at 40. And out there at that all-time high of 40, when it's breaking out here, above 34, well, that's just 6 points. $6 to run to that target, and it's a significant price level that was defined by the market. So those old support resistance zones can become really good profit targets. As I come in here and look at that $40 profit target, well, that's actually relatively realistic based off of previous price cycles. I look back at the past and say, well, that's run pretty nice there, and it ran pretty nice here. I think it can run a similar amount out there and get to my target. So targeting at old support resistance levels is always going to be something that's going to give you some odds of probability because other traders can see those price levels on the chart. They were defined by the market, and they more often than not become self-fulfilling prophecies.